Good evening. Welcome to Cryptid Crunch. I am your host, Willow Skylor, and this doll right here, I don't think I've ever had a name for her. But this doll is about 70 years old, and she is the only creepy doll that I own. All right, more details on her, and Kale is with us today, so I can't wait to. You need to see her outfit. This is amazing. So yes, tonight's subject is creepy dolls, and we got lots of them tonight. Kale, you're in your creepy doll costume. I love it.
Hello. I thought I'd dress for the occasion.
Hey, it's perfect. I love the poofy sleeves. I love the bow on your hair.
Yes, it's and great. My earrings are knives.
Yeah, I have to bring you up on full screen for this. Bloody knives. I love it. And it has a heart on it. All right, so creepy dolls. Have you had creepy dolls as a kid? Like, any dolls that creeped you out?
So I was sent this box by my mom, and it had a doll in it, and I never remember having this doll as a child, but she claims that it was my favorite doll, and I carried it around. And this doll is apparently 29 years old, and I had it since I was 4 years old. And this is the doll. Her name is Ninky. It's on her apron right here.
Oh,
so she claims that I would like scream if the doll was taken away from me, if I didn't get to sleep with the doll. And then she sent me this doll, and I've never remember seeing this doll ever in my life. Like, I have other toys, like I have a white stuffed cat that I remember never being able to part with. I have like my baby blanket that I remember never being able to part with, but I never remember this doll. So I don't know if I just blocked her out of my memory or if she was a spirit child and I don't know, I didn't need her anymore or what.
Interesting. See, okay, and she does remind me of Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy, which, you know, we'll get on to that subject in a moment. I don't think I've ever owned a Raggedy Ann doll in my life. Not that I can't recall ever owning one. I think I wanted to at one point, but in a way I'm like glad that I never did because of stories that that I heard later on. But I've had a few dolls. I'm a Barbie collector. So I've had a couple Barbies, but no weird instances where dolls, you know, attacked me or weird, you know, hearing footsteps in the middle of the night. Although when we inherited this house, and I apologize if you guys hear my husband snoring in the background, when we inherited the house, his grandma had a doll collection, and his mom's like, "Do you want any of these dolls?" I'm like, "Nope." I have no connection to them whatsoever.
Yeah. That's how my grandma was. She had this room where she just had like all of these shelves like mid-level around the entire room, just filled with porcelain dolls. And that was her guest room. She would try to get you to sleep in with a million peeping eyes, just trying to sleep with all of the faces. And I could never fall asleep in there. It was terrifying.
I don't know if you went through this phase in the 90s where my mom got into the habit of buying me porcelain clowns and porcelain masks. I don't know, that seemed like that big thing in the 90s where like these porcelain uh, like kabuki masks and clowns and stuff like that. Um, and I had a couple things left over from my childhood in a box moving around, and I'm just after a while I got tired of moving this box. And one of my friends, who's a tattoo artist, actually wrote a post one day saying, "Hey, if anybody has porcelain dolls or things that they want to get rid of, I'd be willing to take them." I'm like, "Here."
Right.
So hopefully she's having fun redesigning the faces on those dolls, but I don't know. I don't know why I thought they were just like my prized possessions as a kid. I would get mad if someone moved them on my dresser.
What if they moved themselves?
Yeah. See, that's the funny thing. I actually had one that was on a swing, but I don't remember it ever moving. So I don't know. But okay, so we got a couple comments here, and you guys are always like really early for the show. In today's case, it was 5 minutes early, so I shouldn't be too mad about that. Hello, Darnar, Carleen, Carl Winsman. Carl, we only need Dan now to have the usual suspects. Yes, we do. And speak of the devil, he shall appear. Dan Hollifield. That doll, not Willow. Yeah, I'm my doll apparently doesn't look that creepy.
He does look very lovely, but looks can be deceiving.
But yeah, she's one of those dolls that the eyes close when you lay her down, and apparently one of the eyes gets stuck. So, and hello, Eli T. Cash. So yeah, throughout the evening, if you guys have any questions or any comments about creepy dolls, please feel free to say your stuff. Eli says, used to work at a particular thrift store where a doll flung itself off a shelf, freaked out a bunch of customers. Okay, I think I would have way too much fun working at a place like that.
Oh yeah.
Did any of us have talking dolls? I had a Barbie called Talkback Barbie. Yeah. You press a little button and she'd say like, "Let's go to the mall." Apparently there's a little conspiracy about that where it actually sounded like she was swearing. I'll have to look that up in just a sec, but yeah, apparently there was a little conspiracy about some of the things that she said.
I think the earliest, talking. Okay, I don't know if you consider this a doll, but I had a Teddy Ruxpin, way younger, and then Furby. I'm convinced every Furby is haunted, no matter if it's possessed or not, because those things would be in the closet at night. You're not talking to it, and then all of a sudden, want to talk? Want to have a chat? Want to play? And it's like, it's 3 a.m, Furby. I have to go to school tomorrow. What?
Okay, on the subject of Teddy Ruxpin, I actually had it was called a cricket doll. It worked the same way as a Teddy Ruxpin, where you put in the tapes and she'd tell her story of whatever adventure she was on. But we would put like AC/DC, a tape of AC/DC or whatever rock music, and just watch her sing along, and it was just hilarious. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
We lived a very great childhood through these talking dolls. um, but yeah, I nothing that I can think of. Yes, Furbies were definitely creepy, especially when they get into like the hide and seek mode, and all you hear is "Feed me, Furby, hungry, feed me."
Feed me the souls of the children. And I mean, shout out to all of the independent artists making these, but this is absolute nightmare fuel for me. The long Furby snakes that these people are making, the like Furby centipedes.
Oh my god,
no! I hate them. I do not want. People are like, "Oh, it's so cute. I want to cuddle it." I'm like, "No, it's run away."
That movie should just burn in hell already. Like I no. No, I'm. Whoever thought of Centipede as a movie to begin with, that I'm. Anybody who enjoys that type of movie is seriously mentally disturbed. Oh yeah, okay. I heard stories of Mrs. Beasley. So some of them have like if you take the batteries out, they still talk. Or I think no, Mrs. Beasley. I think that's the one where that the cord you pull the cord, and it would still talk. Like yeah, even if you don't pull the cord, it would still talk. I don't know. There's like the mechanism on some of them would actually come loose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have a funny story actually. So Halloween, I have a scarecrow, and it does talk. And it's motion censored. I couldn't get it to work on Halloween this past Halloween. For some reason, I don't know, the motion sensor wasn't working or whatever. I think it was like last week.
Mm-hmm.
My husband was working in the garage, and I come home and he goes, "You need to do something with your scarecrow." I'm like, "Why? What's the matter?" He goes, It talked." I'm like, "It's not plugged in." He goes, "Well, it talked to me."
Oh my gosh. That's
like, I couldn't get her to work. So I don't know. Maybe something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look at it. But
did you ask him what it said?
I'm thinking he heard the crow noise and the music that it plays. So yeah, I'm gonna have to actually look at the mechanism and see what's going on with it. But if it's working with if it's working for my husband, then there's no reason why it should be working for me.
Yeah.
Carl was, some kids would pull the string, then lay the doll down, then the string wouldn't be able to pull in. Then later it would, there we go. Then later it would, and the doll would talk. I kind of figured there was something with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would freak me out if it wasn't working and then it just started to work randomly at any moment.
I asked about talking dolls because Teddy Ruxpin and Elmo's were supposed. See, okay, I've heard of Elmo those Tickle Me Elmos going off in like the weirdest times, but again, I think it's. I think what it is when people are walking around, the vibration just kind of sets them off. Because I mean, even with those wind-up toys, every so often you just get like the like residual motion to them.
Yeah, there were a lot of stories when those first came out with them like saying demonic things and like talking, and people were returning them back to the stores. I remember that. That was a huge thing.
There was an issue with McDonald's toys. The which ones were they? It was the Minion one. And I have a couple of them. Apparently, they say the F word, but I'm just like, I'm not hearing this.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I remember even toys that like Mall Madness, the electronic version of it, where you swipe the cards and it would say like have a good day or something like that. The residual, like I don't know. Sometimes every so often, if you play it too much or whatever, sometimes the battery's on the verge of dying, it would actually go off by itself.
Yeah, that's the thing with old tech and the auto stuff. Any of those wires come loose, it can be whatever, and it just takes a little tap to set it off, and it can freak you
out. We had a motion sensor parrot we got rid of because it was highly annoying. We also have a motion sensor cat that we took batteries out because it would meow at night if we rolled over in bed. I think I had that talking parrot.
Yes, the one that sits on the bar and it records what you say.
John Vasquez of Invader Zim fame made a story called Tickle Me Helmo for his graphic novel. I'll have to look that up. If lightning strikes nearby, it can set off some of those toys. Oh. Static charge, I guess. Take this minion back. It doesn't cuss.
Honestly, I prefer the one that does.
All right, so
I remember another talking doll that I had when I was younger. I had a talking Mew doll from Pokemon, and you would squeeze its belly, and she kind of moved her head and eyes and tail, and she would say Mew, 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 Mew. I remember that. I forgot.
I'm trying to remember if there was any other talking. Well, I mean, okay, like you'd squeeze the paw of some of the stuffed animals and you can record your voice to them, and squeeze the other paw and it would say something back. And then I had like a couple of the weird dolls that would be like, Mommy. I never really liked those dolls. But yeah, I kind of stayed away from creepy dolls, especially ones that were like Annabelle. Because yes, the porcelain dolls, especially in period clothing, creeped me out. And I never understood the wanting to collect those kind of dolls.
So that was actually intentional for this movie, for Annabelle, because the original Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann doll. They didn't want to personify her as a being of terror and make this beloved doll for children today, because they had, the anniversary release of Raggedy Ann. That children today still have this doll and are loving it. They didn't want to personify her as this terrifying demonic thing that could come alive at night. So that was intentional, that they made Annabelle look so demonic, and with the chiseled chin and the high cheekbones. And I just think that for them to create her for this film and make such an iconic horror icon that, we all recognize now going forward, it's just phenomenal, I think.
And like, I don't know, I have a hard time grasping the idea of, this Raggedy Ann doll being so evil that it would write notes to her victims. and scratch them at night and walk around.
Right.
I don't know. The writing the note thing kind of makes me question the sanity of the people that were living in this house. Because I have a feeling it was, it had to have been the best friend writing letters and saying, oh, I didn't write this, and scaring the crap out of her best friend. I don't know. That's just me. Well, but according to the Warrens, it was true. They saw the notes, and I don't know.
That the stronger a connection was had to the item or the person of that owner of the item, the more powerful of a possession they could have. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
And then, of course, there's Robert the doll, who people have said that if you don't get permission, and I'm playing with fire here, folks. I did not ask for permission to have this picture shown on our show, so Kale, keep me posted if anything happens. So yeah, Robert the doll apparently has this mysterious power of causing car accidents and other people to do weird stuff if they don't ask for permission to take pictures of him, or if they, tap on the glass or what have you. I don't know. Again, it's a lot of, we're given a lot of power to something inanimate. And I didn't know about Robert the doll until like one of our previous shows. We were talking to a guy that actually worked for these kind of like, he's a curator of Ripley's. So I don't know.
Yeah. Now, what I think is interesting is that Robert the doll travels. He's been to Paranormal Con.
So does Annabelle.
Yeah, and it's just like he went to Zach Bagans Museum in Las Vegas in 2015. So it's just like, why are we not putting them away and keeping them away if they're so terrifyingly haunted?
And you see on Annabelle's case, like, warning, positively do not open. But this thing, I'm sorry, the case is open in the picture. And this thing does travel to different conventions. But here's the thing about this. I know I've seen pictures of it in different outfits. So I'm wondering how many Annabelle dolls are they using as decoys?
Yeah, I wonder if the real one is actually safe, and then just
I'm wondering about that
travel.
Too. Yeah. We got a lot of comments. Okay. Eli with Elmo feeding off the power of Hela. It's like those robots that they are making now, the Creepy Valley effect. They are just close enough to look human. Yeah. I'm gonna stick with it, like the few dolls that I do own, and I'm probably gonna stay. I don't know. I'm not, like, I do look at the doll section in some of the stores just to see what they have. I wanted to buy the Elvira Monster High doll, but I feel like I got screwed over by Mattel on that one. For those of you who want to know my story behind that, go on my YouTube page. I posted on there, and you can also find it on TikTok. My story on trying to buy the Monster High doll. Make Chucky versus Annabelle happen. Yes. So Donna says, I had a kissy doll. It was 3 feet tall, and when you pushed her hands together, she'd pucker and kiss. Interesting. But it sounded more like a burp. Okay. On that note, okay, what was it? In the 70s, there was a Skipper doll that you'd rotate her hand and she'd actually grow a pair of boobs. Yeah, that doll had people question Mattel's brains on why they created that. I have way too much knowledge about dolls, but in the 80s, early 90s, I had this one doll that, again, you kind of crank the arm, and she actually grew. She would grow like a couple inches, and then you'd go move back the arm, and she'd shrink again. So I don't know, those kind of things do kind of make me weary, because it's like, what are you trying to say with these dolls? Carl says, I wonder if Keisha is still hunting Robert via Twitter. Yeah, I remember her messaging him, and she was still, I think she mentioned this a while back, she still hasn't heard anything back from him. So obviously his curator doesn't do a good enough job. So it was like, let's kiss after lunch. Yep, pretty much, says Donna. Facebook user, I am not sure who you are, but creepy dolls are kind of my thing. I wonder if that's Keisha. All right, and let's curse the entire country. And like I said, if anything happens, you guys let me know, okay? Oh yeah, the Skipper doll was meant to be G.I. Joe's Trailer Park Girlfriend.
Oh my
goodness. And according to Eli, it is Keisha. Excellent.
Yay.
But yeah, I don't know. Again, with Robert the Doll, I think it's just story hype that makes people want to go to the museum to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the lady in white in every hotel.
Yep, something to draw in the crowd.
All right, so there's a doll in Japan that apparently was owned by a little girl. She died in a tragic accident. The doll is put in a museum for her honor. The doll's hair apparently grows.
Interesting.
Yeah. But again, this is something that I question the validity on, because I've seen this doll in different pictures with different outfits. So I don't know. I'm wondering if that's a wig. Yeah. But, and there's other stories like that too, of other creepy dolls where the hair grows. So again, guys, I need proof of this. I need a video of, I know we're not going to get proof of the hair actually growing, because I mean, you have to splice it up and all that. But I need proof. I need to see if this is a wig or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my favorite story of this all is the Island of Dolls. There was a guy that apparently had a doll wash ashore, and stories of a little girl that drowned, and one of the dolls was hers. So every so often, he would find a doll that washed ashore, and he'd hang it up somewhere, and in honor of this little girl that had passed. Now, people come to this island and bring their own dolls and hang them up. The guy who owned this island has since passed, and all these dolls are, to honor him and it's the supposed little girl that drowned. It's in Mexico. It's creepy. Why?
Now, this place also gets itself into a lot of trouble because a lot of people go there and try to hold seances. They believe that other people's dolls that have been brought there are other haunted dolls that they are trying to discard the possessed dolls and get rid of the spirits that are haunting them. And they think that by leaving them there on the island, they will leave the possession and get rid of the spirit. So it's become just this energy portal of just chaos in the spirit realm. If you've seen any kind of investigation on it, and I highly encourage you to do more research about it because it's very, very interesting. And there is apparently a couple
documentaries. One that I found on YouTube, and apparently there's one on Netflix as well, of the Island of Dolls. There's also a couple movies, with the name Island of the Dolls, but it's like they write their own story about it, of murder and other weird things that happen on the island. I haven't yet watched them, so I may delve deep into this at a later date. Okay, so yes, of course, there's movies about dolls. We've talked about Annabelle a little bit. One of my favorite movies, Child's Play. Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play? Actually, funny story. Cult of Chucky was actually filmed in my city.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
I had Jennifer Tilly in my city for a while, and I actually offered to buy her Starbucks because at the time when I was working for Starbucks, like, I can come down and give you Starbucks whenever. And she actually wrote back and saying, "Hey, I'm good, thank you, but I'll take you up on that offer in the future next time I'm in Winnipeg."
Oh, that's great.
So the offer still stands. I will give her Starbucks. Megan, I haven't seen this movie yet. I don't know if you have, Kale.
Yes.
Is it any good? Is it worth seeing?
So, I'm somebody who enjoys tech. There were a couple of hokey parts, like the dancing. I didn't think her martial arts were needed, but I enjoyed the concept of it. The AI and the tech going wrong and her protectiveness was really good. Yeah, the plot goes darker into like the family stuff, with the doll and stuff. You have to watch it to understand, but I enjoyed where they took the kind of futuristic tech of what they're doing with the robots, like, we said earlier, with the humanistic features and how they made it, come to life.
And I know you mentioned this while we were talking backstage. There's kind of like an uncanny valley or something creepy that you don't like about certain, like what, the puppet or the Muppets.
So, in ancient, like, Roman and Italian times, like, dolls were used for religious practices, and they were actually referred to moppets or poppets. So it's like this whole conspiracy that Jim Henson is like a Satanist, and like he called them Muppets because he wants control, and like that's why he wants to control humans and uses the puppets to kind of gain control of his audience and mind control. And within this crowd that believe this conspiracy, they try to like decipher the hidden messages within the Muppet movies and things like that. So it's a very deep dive into a rabbit hole.
Okay, I need to see this documentary. That is interesting. And let's go to our chat, because again, we're seeing a lot of comments. Oh yeah. So I'm Keisha. Dolls can't change their outfits without everybody going crazy. No, they can't.
Annabelle needs to keep up on the latest fashions, Willow. Come on.
Smexy. No, wait, we've seen that one already. I actually hope it's a wig on that doll, not her real hair. Exactly. That's how it. And the island of dolls is in Mexico. She needs the proof. Yes. Hashtag proof, and she needs the pudding. Hashtag on the pudding. Okay. I will butcher that word. Isla de la Menencas? Menencas? Can you tell I'm very white?
Muy bueno. Muy bueno.
All right. Allegedly, she died by the hands of these dolls. Yeah. Sure. His nephew taking care of the island. Oh, interesting. His and those dolls are way creepy. They are, and it's like that scene in Toy Story where Woody's in Sid's bedroom and all the dolls that he's Frankenstein come to life.
Mutilated.
Yep. The poisonous spiders are more dangerous than the dolls. You know what? Part of me wants to see the snail that lives inside the doll and moves it on his back, the doll head. Oh yes, I saw a movie called Island of the Dolls, but that was a different kind of movie, and we won't talk about that. I think I know what movie you're talking about, and yeah, I'm. There's a reason why I didn't put the picture up on it. Heard there was a director's cut. No, we don't need a director's cut of that creepy movie. Well, that wasn't bad Spanish. Spanish for doll. Yeah. Thank you, Carl. He put the word out there so that you can pronounce it better. Thank you very much, Carl. Muñeca. It's funny because I actually work with a couple of Spanish people, and so I'm trying to learn new words. And it's funny because I also worked with a lot of Filipinos as well, so kind of learned from them certain words, and so I'm trying to learn different languages.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, dolls are freaking creepy, and although coincidentally they seem to show up in certain aspects. This is my new loot. Yesterday, I went to a social, or what we call a fundraiser. And here, I'll bring this. Yesterday, I was dressed up as Dr. Harleen Quinzel, Harley Quinn before she became Harley, and I won this statue. One of the girls painted this, and so Joker got to come home with Harley last night. And a previous doll that I had acquired I dressed up as the fairy godmother from Cinderella, and for a children's party. And hours later, after the party, I went shopping with my husband, and we went to a thrift store, and I picked up a fairy godmother doll. So yes, things like that just coincidentally fall into my lap, kind of situation. So those of you who say there is no such thing as coincidences, explain that.
Now, what will you do if the statue moves?
That thing is freaking heavy. So I'm probably, if it does move, it's gonna make some noise. And I have a pretty big hammer.
That would be your foolproof evidence that the paranormal was real if the heavy statue got moved.
Yeah. Now you're making me think of the creepy angels from Doctor Who. Oh, hey, it's not an angel. No, it doesn't have wings.
Did you ever have, so you said you did Barbies. Did you ever have a my size Barbie when you were a kid?
No. I honestly, I didn't. I had a few of those, like do like the hair Barbies.
Yeah.
And makeup.
I had the ones that were just like the head and shoulders, and just the top torso, like we were the serial killer.
Yeah, the bust. I see a bunch of those at antiques or like the secondhand stores, and I want to buy a whole bunch of them, and on Halloween just like make them up into zombies and have them look like they're crawling out of my yard.
That would actually be a good idea. Perfect size. All you need is some little hands.
Yeah. And there are little hands available on online, so
right.
So yeah, that is my plan of, but again, I'd have to go out and buy these creepy like haircut misshapen dolls for this. But yeah, I don't purposely go out to antique stores and buy other people's dolls. Although, weird thing, I do have an obsession with vintage photography. So I don't know. My husband doesn't want me to bring any of those pictures home, but I don't know. I love vintage photography. So it's like, do I run the risk of bringing that energy into my home from the photos, or
like vintage photography, like of portraits of other people?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I love
the portrait captures a piece of the soul within it. So
I don't know. Like I love the old cameras, but I'm not one for collecting old cameras. Although I do love, like, I do miss like going into a dark room and doing the film and stuff. But no, I just don't have the room to collect old cameras.
Yeah. No, I think there's something, I don't want to say it's unsettling, but you can just tell that there's an energy sometimes when you are going through, thrift stores or like Goodwill or something like that, and it's like a used stuffed animal or a doll or something like that, and it's like it's lived another life, and it can't live another life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's so weird to describe. It is an energy that's kind of in it, and it holds on to, and I think, and I read that they said that, that's why they think that dolls are one of the more popular possessed items, is because they are more lifelike and human-like, and we are drawn to them. But I don't know. Even when you have a bad day and you just have like your favorite stuffed animal, or like everybody has that one bear they've had since they were a kid, or Mr. Snuggles, they just can't go on vacation without.
Yeah.
We all know, even you boys got a Mr. Snuggles out there that you don't want to talk about. So it's just a human instinct thing, we all want to comfort.
Joe's dad had this stuffed panda bear when he was a kid, and dolls from the 60s, the 60s are really creepy, by the way. Like, especially when they're supposed to be like of certain stuffed animals, and they have like the plastic face to them. Mm-hmm. Like, this thing doesn't look like a panda bear. It's it has the colors of a panda bear, but it doesn't look like a panda bear.
Yep.
So Joe's mom one day managed to get this thing and was gonna. I think she took it to one of her friends to get fixed, like restuffed and all that. And so Joe's dad was kind of worrying, like, where's my panda bear? I don't know. Like, it was here. And everybody's like, I don't know. I think it was like for his birthday. He ended up unwrapping it, and it was in a box, all fixed and everything, cleaned up. And I remember looking at him like, that is like the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
He was probably so happy, and you were just disturbed.
It is. It's creepy.
Oh my gosh. That's great.
So there's supposedly a foot-tall statue in a museum in Egypt that moves on its own at night. The most credible theory is that during the night, delivery trucks driving by caused the museum to vibrate. And that does make sense, because in an old place like mine, you definitely feel the traffic going by.
Yeah. Especially if you live by a train track.
Yep. Like micro earthquakes, the traffic shakes the building, which shakes the shelves in the display. Yep. Donna says, not a coincidence you were compelled by power of the doll. Yes. Thanks. And well, when you grow up in the idea of giving life to a doll as a kid while playing with it, it's hard to get out of that mindset.
That's true. So, when we're children, we're playing with our action figures, G.I. Joes, Barbies, like, they're our imaginary friends. We give them a personality and a character and a humanistic embodiment to this figure. So we are creating essentially our own voodoo, like, possessed dolls. And what do they call totems?
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know. Like, I don't think I've had anything as a child that I like doll wise or stuffed animal wise that I would hold on to constantly. I mean, I had my favorite. I did have like the occasional favorite doll that I had, but no, I can't say that anything other than my aunt's doll that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl's like, can you tell I was a shrink? No, but we love having you, Carl, because you add to the chat and you keep the conversation going, and that's what I like about this show is the involvement that we allow our viewers. And speaking of, I didn't point this out earlier. You guys do support us, and I appreciate all the support that you guys do give us. So thank you, Cereal Box Super Friends, Kate Hawkins, Eli Cash, Cindy Kip, Cherise Collins, Dave Mattingly. If you guys feel the need to support us monetarily, you guys can through buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Not necessary if you don't want to give us money. I'm not asking for money, don't worry. But if you guys feel the need, if you feel the power compels you, yeah, you guys can definitely support our show that through that. So any other dolls that you've had that you've collected have like special meaning to you or creeped you out in a way?
I have a lot of stuffed animals, but they're just for comfort. They don't creep me out.
I know Sid and Marty Croft, their stuff. Like we did we talked about Sid and Marty Croft stuff on Back of the Cereal Box, and you have this weird thing about the Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
Their creations creeped me out. And in the 80s, there was this one show where they make puppets that look like celebrities, and I did not like that show. I love the Muppets, but I did not like the Sid and Marty Croft show that with their puppets. I don't know, just thinking back, I still agree. It gives me creeps. But the thing is, I love here in Canada, we had shows like Sharon Lois and Bram, where they danced with a giant elephant, and I loved that one. And then we had like lamb chops and all that. Those puppets don't creep me out.
Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop was what I grew up on as a little kid.
Yeah,
I loved it.
And you know what's really sad is the pet store that I'm working at. We sell the lamb chop stuffed animals.
I know, and the dogs destroy them, and it's so sad.
I want one so bad because it's lamb chop.
I know.
But yeah, no, I like puppets don't really creep me out. But some people's creations do. And there was a Dumbo show at one point. I'm not sure. I want to say it came out in the 80s, but it may have came out in the 70s, and I just watched the reruns. But it was a bunch of furries dancing around in like the characters of Dumbo. And those, like some of those actually kind of creep me out too. Like some mascot costumes actually do kind of creep me out.
Yeah, depending on if they're done well or not.
I don't know. It really depended on the situation. Like the Dumbo show on the Disney Channel was kind of creepy. And then there was but not like some hockey mascots don't creep me out as much as that show did. I don't know. Like I have a cat suit that I had one of my friends make, and I keep it in a box because I don't want to be creeped out by it before I wear it.
Yeah, I could imagine. That's why I don't have I couldn't keep any. I don't think taxidermy in my room or like my house, like anything with eyes or a face, because like I feel like I would be watching me, or like I feel like even if it wasn't, I feel like I in my mind subconsciously would think its spirit is judging me for having its body in my home. It's going to haunt me for having it here. I can't have it. Even if it died ethically or what, it's just like some subconscious thing. So like the only thing that I have of like any real animal thing is I have like a foxtail, and that's it. I can't bring myself to have like any faces or anything.
See, and people make those singing fish things, and I'm surprised you don't hear stories of those things playing in the middle of the night.
Big mouth Billy Bass. It's just you're in a dead REM sleep and it's 3 a.m. Don't worry. Be happy. What? It's 3 a.m. Be happy. I need to get out of my house. There's obviously a poltergeist.
Yep. Yeah, and then of course now social media is going to be showing me all the links of all these creepy things that. You know what, Carl? That would be awesome if that was actually if you could hook one of those up to a radio station. That would be awesome.
Do they still make Big Mouth Billy Bass? Is my phone going to be listening to me? Show me the Big Mouth Billy Bass.
I feel like they do. I feel like that's something that like a novelty item that doesn't go out of style in some of the southern states and parts of Manitoba.
I'm in the Midwest. If there's a Big Mouth Billy Bass, I'm buying it for my wall tonight.
Yep. If I had a Billy Bass, I'd want it to play Black Sabbath.
Yes, we're gonna mod him to a Bluetooth speaker, and we're gonna make him say whatever we want him to say.
The next Alexa.
Right. Now that's a whole nother thing. This is real. This is real.
Okay. Okay.
We have to say Schmoogle, otherwise she'll hear me, okay? I have Schmoogle Holmes in my house. She will really say at the most random times, "Thanks. It was nice chatting with you too." Who's she talking to? Just a random ghost? She's just having conversations with spirits in the house?
Oh my god. Like, do they not like don't those things keep track of the conversation going? Like, is there not a log that you can look into?
I don't know if it's on my phone, but you can say, "Hey, repeat what you just said," and then she'll say it again, like, "I just said, great, it was nice chatting with you too." But then it's like, I will just be sitting here like watching TV or like literally just like reading or working on a painting, and she'll just say it at the most random time.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So I think there are voices that are too low for me to hear that are talking to my robot assistants.
Carl apparently has the same problem. My phone once woke me up saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Maybe I was talking in my sleep."
Yeah. Or somebody else was trying to talk to her.
Okay, that's a definite story for next time, electronics being creepy. Oh, man, it was a great show. Okay, so again, you guys are able to okay, so next Sunday
we will all sleep well tonight. Hopefully.
Next Sunday is going to be an After Dark episode, so I'm going to have to talk to the Ice Cream Queen, see if they want to do a show with us. But you guys are able to follow us all over social media. Kale, where can we find you?
Instagram, Creepy Kale.
And you can find me all over social media. I am Facebook. I am on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, sometimes on Twitter. Not a whole lot on Twitter. So yeah. And I'm also on Instagram. That's the other one that I'm on. Too much social media. But yes, you guys can support us through buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Thank you guys for joining us on the show, and can't wait to see you guys on our next episode. One of these days I will get my tongue to work. You guys have a great night. Oh, and before I go, let's check the chat again. We will all sleep well tonight. I can't wait to hear these fun stories and tags from your conversations of you guys waking up in the middle of the night. Yep. Great show. Thank you. Another fun show. Thank you guys. Awesome. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you very much for joining us.